Today, we're going to be talking about timelines for SEO success, as well as specific steps that folks I have worked with and folks who have been in SEO school have done to make SEO work for them. Welcome to the Up in My Business podcast with me, Lex Lancaster, where you'll get an inside look at all things tech, business, and my life as a physical therapist turned digital operations expert. You'll hear all about my lessons as a business owner, the ins and outs of tech for your business, and more. From SEO, websites, and email marketing to automations, launches, and copywriting, I've got you. I'm so excited you're here. Let's dive in. Before we dive into today's episode, let's give a shout out to the Up in My Business podcast sponsor, Jane. Jane is a clinic management software and EMR, and I absolutely love Jane. I use Jane in my practice, and I am hoping most of my clients use Jane at this point. And whether you're just starting to do your own research or you've been contemplating switching your software for a while now, the Jane team understands that the process can feel intimidating. I get it because I switched softwares as well, and it was very intimidating. And that's why their goal is to provide you with all of the onboarding resources you need to make the switch as soon as possible and as easy as possible. Jane offers a personalized call to set up your account, a free date import, and a variety of online resources to get you up and running quickly. And if you need help along the way, when you're setting up, when you're first starting to use it, you'll have access to unlimited phone, email, and chat support included in your Jane subscription. So if you're interested in learning more, book a one-on-one demo at jane.app/switch. And if you decide to make the switch, don't forget to use my code LEX1MO at sign up to receive a 1-month grace period on your new Jane account, which works perfectly because you'll be able to set up the account and get things up and running and going smoothly while you're on the free plan. And then once you start paying, hopefully you'll be ready to use the software and get your quote unquote money's worth when you are paying for it. So that code LEX1MO at checkout to receive a 1-month grace period. Welcome back to another episode of Up in My Business. My name is Lex. I am the host of Up in My Business and the owner of Lex Lancaster Creative Co. If you are new here, I release podcast episodes once a week, and we'll be doing this for the rest of forever, at least I'm assuming. And if I have anything to say about it, maybe even increasing, who knows? But if you're returning, thank you so much for coming back and listening to another episode. I cannot say enough, gratitude. I cannot express gratitude enough for the people who reach out and say that they listen to the podcast, the people who schedule discovery calls and send me Instagram DMs about how the podcast has helped them. I truly cannot say enough gratitude or say that I am, super, super grateful for you. I cannot say it enough. Whatever the hell I'm trying to say here. Sound just blew out there. So sorry if that just, wrecked your earbuds. But anyway, okay. Thank you is basically what I wanted to say. Welcome back to another episode. So when I first started this podcast, my tagline was business, life, and tech. And this episode is definitely going to have a longer life update that's also pertaining to my business, but longer life and business updates. And then I'm going to say the back end of the episode is going to be the timeline for SEO and breaking down some client stuff. Or client and student stuff. So with that being said, I'm hoping the episode is not as long as last week's. I don't love recording for 40 minutes because I know it's hard to listen to a 40-minute episode, but I do anticipate this one being a little bit longer than 20 minutes. So if you're looking to split this one up, I would just do that accordingly. Or if you don't care about the life and business stuff, then just skip right to the third part of the episode, which will be the actual SEO breakdown. Without further ado, I'm going to jump into life updates. So I'm currently recording on Saturday. It's 1 p.m. in the afternoon. I wanted to get my recording stuff done today because I know tomorrow I'm probably going to be needing to do a little bit more errand running as far as like going to the store, what have you. Shanté is in Dallas presenting at Raise the Bar conference, and she presented this morning. We'll be returning back here tonight. So going to record, do some house stuff, do some work stuff, and then picking her up at LAX, which If you are familiar with LAX, it's typically a shit show. It's just very, very busy, but I will survive. I will be good. I do not love driving in Los Angeles. It's not really the city. It's not downtown, but I don't like driving here. It feels like I am driving Miss Daisy here just because I feel like there are so many effing cars. But like realistically, anybody who's from a typical city-esque area would be like, Alexis, you're pathetic. And yes, I own that. I just don't love driving here, but I will survive because I would always pick Shanté up from the airport. And I will tell you right now, I drove her to the airport at 4 a.m. on Friday, and I cannot express how nice it was to drive her to the airport so early because so many cars were not out. Because if you're not familiar with this area where we are, which is outside of LA, it's people don't get up in the morning. And I recognize 4 o'clock is like really early, but even when we go to volleyball at 6:30, people are not out. It's very much so quiet. People just get up later here, which is, I never would have guessed that. Anyway, so Shanté is presenting. I am doing this now. As far as like other life stuff, today I went to a volleyball lesson with my friend Bree, and I felt like this was kind of a takeaway of life and business and all the things in general. I showed up to the lesson and our coach asked me first, because Bree hadn't gotten there yet. He asked me, what do you want to do today? Like in this semi-private lesson, because it's a lesson, so it's not a class. So he tailors it to what we want. So I was like, honestly, everything feels pretty good. So I don't really have anything specific. Like I would just like to essentially really home in on all of the skills and just make things better. So essentially perform better. I feel good at baseline. And I haven't been able to say that because, I have felt very inconsistent since starting, bi-weekly volleyball classes last July when I moved here, and it finally feels like everything was feeling good. Well, then we decided to work on hitting. And then when we broke down the task, every single piece needed some work. And I was like, oh, son of a bitch. So it was like, it went from feeling like everything was clicking and feeling good to when you break down the tactical steps, you can improve all of these small little things. So the lesson I took away from that is like, sometimes what happens is you get better at something and something feels easier. And then you're able to take a step back and say, okay, what don't I know? And then you get worse for a little bit as you practice those things. And then you go back to being better than you were when you initially thought that you were decent or you knew what you were doing and things felt good. And then you break it down, you work on it, and then you end up at a higher, a more efficient, a better athlete or what have you. In business, it happens too. In PT. I remember as a physical therapist, it's like, I feel like I know what I'm doing. And, you graduate with that mentality. I feel like I know what I'm doing. You start practicing and then you realize, oh shit, I know nothing. That's what I can't remember off the top of my head what that's called. There is a specific word for this. Anyway, you feel like you know what you're doing. You learn that you actually have not even close to the amount of knowledge that you could have. You take a step back, you learn more things, you are kind of bad at it for a little bit, and then you start to really dial those new skills in, and then you end up becoming a better practitioner in the long run. So this is exactly how I felt today. So while it's really frustrating to not feel like you're having the best playing day, and it feels good because the next time you go to do the thing, you're going to be able to put those things together and be better, hopefully. So it was fun. It was great. It was great to be able to break down that stuff. Our coach is great, but just took that away from today. Another fun life update. And I recognize I go down this list. I actually made a list today because I was like, I feel like when I jump on my life updates, I don't have the things to say. And then I think of things afterward. So another thing that I wanted to share, really, I guess it's an explanation that I don't need to give, but I have become a nail person. So, well, for now, I should say, I am on Nutrafol. So I'm not sponsored by Nutrafol. So you probably listen to other podcasts and they're talking about Nutrafol. I'm on Nutrafol to potentially try to make my hair grow stronger, longer, what have you. I don't know if I talked about it on the podcast, but when I came to California, I had no idea that you're supposed to wear heat protectant in your hair. And I have very fine hair to begin with. So my hair wasn't brittle. Like it wasn't bad hair, but it's fine. So essentially the heat like destroyed my fucking hair. And yeah, so my hair was getting thinner at the ends and I was getting so frustrated by it. And so I decided to go on to supplements and using all of the hair care stuff. So I've essentially elevated my hair care times 1 million thanks to Danny J as well, because I had messaged her and I was like, what would your hair care routine when your whole hair stuff went down? And she gave me all the tips and tricks. So I am on this supplement that has had a great side effect of my nails growing. And so I decided to paint them and make them look nice. 2 things. I never got to have long nails. I was a PT. So you are told from the beginning that you can't have long nails. It makes sense. Nails tend to be dirty. So I understand why you can't really have long nails as you're practicing. I also was a pediatric physical therapist for a decent chunk of my career. So having long nails with babies and children just doesn't happen. You can't do that. Just because who you're working with, it's very easy for them to, be doing something and run into your hand on accident, or like you're manipulating their body in certain ways and you scratch them. Like obviously we don't want that. So I never had the chance to really have nails. So for me, my normal is short nails, not painted, because that was the rule. It was literally a rule in school. It was a rule. And I mean, any of the healthcare professional people, you can probably say that you had the same rule in school. Anyway, so as a side effect of these pills and my nails growing and literally being hard as rocks, I said, well, I'm going to start to paint them, which is great for me. Also because my hands, so if you've never met me in person or don't know me personally, my hands are huge. So I have very, very thick fingers. Shanté and I call them Viennas because they're big. I have big fingers and I have big hands. So I'm tall. So being 5'9", I should have bigger hands. But the way that I'm built in general, you would assume that my fingers are really long. My fingers are just thick. I have really thick fingers. So I'm laughing because it makes my hand a little bit more feminine. And I mean, I enjoy that at this point in my life. Like it feels good to have a more feminine looking hand because I can't do anything about the size of my fingers. And I'm not over here insulting my body. I love the fact that I have big hands. I can palm a basketball. It was very helpful in high school when I was playing. And I can, my hand literally wraps around a volleyball. So I am not complaining about my hands. I never have complained. And I don't think there's anything wrong with them by any means. But I think it's nice to have a little bit of, feminine injected onto them. And so now I'm, doing my nails. And the woman today, so people, if you don't give a shit about nails, I'm sorry, but people who go get their nails done will know, like they ask you what shape you want your nail to be, and the nail tech, because I like an oval shape because of the shape of my fingers and how large they are. Any other shape would make them look really funky. So for instance, the woman today, she was doing my nails and she was like, what shape do you want? And I said oval. And she was like, oh, good thing you didn't say almond, because I would have told you no, because it would make your fingers look too big and your nail would be really small. And I was like, good, because I don't like almond anyway. But she laughed, and we had a nice laugh together because I already know that my fingers are Viennas, but it makes me laugh, and I'm enjoying the process of learning how to go in and like pick colors that I want on my nails. It sounds so stupid, but I have hated, like, for prom in high school, and then when I had my wedding, and what else did I do that I got? When I graduated, I got my nails done, but I have always not liked the process because it's like you go in, you don't know what you're doing unless you're familiar with it. And you like pick out a color and you're like, is this gel? Is this not gel? I don't know. I'm going to carry this thing over there. They take the color and then magically they can make it gel. I don't know. So the whole process has just been a learning curve. And yeah, it's been nice, but I like having my nails done. So at this point right now, I'm going with it. I'm rocking with it. One of them broke last week and I went in there today and she did some dip magic. They call it dip, and it fixed my nail. So anybody who's a nail person probably thinks that I sound stupid at this point, but I'm a newbie and also embracing the newbiness. So she fixed my broken nail and now it looks perfect. Like it was never broken. And it's great. I'm very happy about it. So anyway, nails are very long, nails are very strong, and they're hot pink currently. So if you see me on a call, you'll probably notice that I've been nails painted, which is not normal. I started doing this about a month ago. So, all right, now that we're done with the nail update that took 20 minutes, a few more things. I told you this one's going to be more, I said life, business, and tech, and today is going to be more lifey than it is techie, and the techie stuff's at the end, so skip to it if you want that instead. Another big thing that I wanted to share with you, and that I think people who follow or have followed my life and development and whatnot over the last year or so will appreciate. One of my best friends from high school commented, I posted a picture of the food that I've been cooking this past week, and still over here loving the whole process of cooking and following all the recipes and finding the recipes. Grocery shopping still can, take a hike. I don't love that part, and making the list, but actually doing the cooking I am enjoying. And my friend Ashley from high school actually DM'd me back to one of my photos, and she was like, I remember at this time last year, you were asking our friend group, because we have a group chat, you were asking our friend group, like, what meals can you cook fast because you had no time. And she's right. So I was curious, like, what is the no cook solutions? How can I make mealtime and eating take as little time as possible? There are so many things that I thought about when she DM'd me, because like, yes, you're right. And I'm so grateful that's not my life anymore. But just as a quick aside, having time is magic because you get to do more of the things that you love, but also the mental capacity. So like at this time last year, I was managing a lot of different things that I'm no longer managing at this point in time. And it's just freed up a ton of mental energy for other stuff, whether it's just my business or my personal life or cooking, what have you. And it meant a lot to me for her to say, and it also just brought me back to like, yeah, I had no time to cook a meal. And it's like, I put quotes around it, no time, like plenty of time, but the capacity just wasn't there. So last week I had talked about that a little bit, but I was just super grateful that she had said something to me about that. And because she's right, like 110% right. And it just brought me back to feeling super grateful for, the last year and the transformation and the changes that I've made that have allowed me to have the capacity to do more things that really do bring me joy. So just really, really, really love that. So if you're thinking like, I wish I could have the time to cook, sometimes it's just about figuring out like, what is the capacity that you have and what can you either, get rid of, or maybe automate or delegate or, do faster, what have you, to give you more time and space to do something else that you enjoy a lot of. So just felt really good to hear her say that. I've got 2 more things, I promise, and then we'll go into business stuff, and then we'll go into the timeline. So if you don't follow Personal Finance Club, his name's Jeremy, I believe it's Snyder. He's on Instagram. He launched a company called Nectarine. I am not getting paid to say this. They are a financial planning group. I don't want to say group. It's really just financial planning professionals work for Nectarine, and he owns Nectarine. But anyway, so they have financial planning professionals that specialize in advice. So I don't know if anyone else, because I have been subject to this, you go to a financial planning meeting and they start selling you on a bunch of shit. Like I got sold on life insurance, and then they wanted to manage stocks for me. Like, no, absolutely not. And I have for the longest time I have wanted to find someone who can just look at my money picture, my overall picture, and just tell me like, you're doing good, or maybe you should allocate more funds to this thing, or maybe in 5 years you should do this and this. And it is important for me because I have a lot of money in debt from school. And, anybody who's a physical therapist will tell you it's 7 to 8 years of school. Some people do it in 6, depending on your school, but it's a lot of money. And I chose to do things in a really interesting way. I don't remember if I ever talked about that, but that's a story for another day. So I have a lot of debt. So I'm trying to figure out like, how do I allocate certain funds here and certain funds here? And like, I also subscribe to Ramit's teachings where it's like, I want to live a rich life. So I'm not going to be the person like David Ramsey where I cut my coffee spending so that I can put $5 extra a day to my loans. Like, that's not how it is. Now, I will say like, there are things that I don't spend money on. I'm not frivolously spending, but I subscribe to Ramit's Rich Life. His philosophy on the rich life and living a rich life. So just finding the things that I want to spend money on and spending the money on those things. So anyway, I've been looking for, lost my train of thought. I looked out the window and I saw a man pulling a wagon with a dog in it. Anyway, so I wanted to find somebody who can just look at my financial picture, and I couldn't find somebody who would do that. It was always like a sales call. I went on two different calls in the last 8 months. I'm taking a drink really quick. I went on 2 different sales calls in the past 8 months, and it's just a sales tactic. And I was like, I don't want to be sold anything. I just want you to look at my stuff. And like, granted, you're showing people your money. I don't take that lightly. Like, I think that's like, it's a very intrusive, like, I think healthcare obviously is intrusive in a lot of different ways and very personalized. And I think money is also that way. And I'm like, I want to be able to feel like this person, I could trust this person and they're not going to sell me on something. It's so mind blowing to me. Anyway, so I booked a call with Nectarine. I'll put a link to their Instagram in my show notes. Obviously the Instagram is going to be not full of things because they just launched this company, but they privately launched it back in October without the Instagram and just did like introductory meetings, if you will. And I'm super pumped for it. So I'm working on filling out my intake form. I'm filling out all the things that they want you to have ready to go for the meeting. And it's just been great. It's nice to be able to sit down and like put all of my financial stuff in one spreadsheet and to fill out their form. Like, their form asks you, what do you want out of this call? And I blatantly told them, like, I've already done all of my investment stuff. I want you to look at it, of course, but like, don't tell me that I have to go in there and trade stocks. Absolutely not. We're sticking with index funds, target date retirement funds. We're calling it a day. You're not going to find me as a daytime trader. Like, it's not happening. And it's just great to be able to tell them, like, this is what I like. This is what I don't like. So, okay. One more thing, and then we'll get into biz stuff, and then SEO. And yes, that is me saying check out Nectarine if you want the same thing. Next Saturday, which is so exciting, a week from today, is my birthday. I'm not like I like to give gifts, but I don't like the way that people show me love. I'm not like a please give me a gift person. But I will say that I have been toying with buying myself this backpack from Wilson for volleyball for like 3 months now. I told Shanté about it and she surprised me with it the other day. She was like, I ordered it, so please don't order it. So I'm super happy that she got me this lovely backpack that I've been eyeing. Super appreciative because I've needed a volleyball backpack since I've gotten here and I just haven't pulled the trigger on it. So that's great, but I am super excited for next week. I don't really, like I said, I'm not like a big, like, it's my birthday type of person, but I'm excited. It's my birthday, another year. I don't like, bastardize turning a year older. It's been great. And also 30s have been the best so far. So I have no doubt that 31 will be just as good as 30 was, if not even better. But yeah, so birthday is in a week and I don't know. I said last week, I don't know if we have plans. I still don't know if we have plans. I don't know because we wanted Shanté to get through the live event, of course. So we haven't really talked about next weekend. It's only this weekend. It's something that I'm getting better at, of making plans not 6 months in advance and being more, I don't want to call it adventurous, but just like, let's make plans as we go. And yeah. And I'd be happy just sitting here doing absolutely nothing on Saturday because that's like my favorite, just staying home and hanging out with the kiddos. Okay. I think that's all the personal stuff. I did not hold my promise of it not being a 40-minute episode, but I digress. Let's talk biz stuff. So 2 things. The first thing is SEO School. SEO School officially will open for registration in 4 weeks as of tomorrow. So March 18th. I'm not correct in saying that. I want to say it must be 3 weeks. I'll say it can't be 4 weeks. It'll open in 3 weeks as of March 18th. It'll be open to the waitlist only. So 3 weeks from this upcoming Monday. So if you're listening to this podcast on Monday, 3 weeks from today, SEO School will open to the waitlist only. This episode, I will dive into more details from an Instagram post that I made last week, but SEO School is my flagship course that will teach you everything you need to know in order to do your own SEO. And I also like to tell people, even if you walk away from the course knowing how to do your own SEO and then decide to hire out for it, I promise you won't regret knowing the details behind it and knowing what you're hiring someone to do. I have found that those have been my greatest clients, of people who have gone through SEO School and then decide that they don't want to know how to do it. And that's a-okay. But if you want to learn how to do it, I have plenty of people who never hire me or anyone else, and they do their own SEO for the rest of forever because they love doing it. So SEO School opens for registration March 18th and will not open again until this upcoming fall. It does include 6 months of support because we do group calls, 1 call a month. And this group will actually be meeting on Wednesdays instead of Mondays. So it's a little bit different because I'm going to be having both groups running at the same time for a couple months. So yeah, get on the wait list. Waitlist people will save $100 on registration, and they will have the chance to get access to the bonuses for the course, which I haven't officially released all of them, but it always includes obviously the $100 off and Dr. O, his YouTube SEO live workshop. So that's always something that it includes. And then as my Canva course as well is typically in there as a freebie. I say freebie, but it's just a big bonus. Okay. I'm looking at my list and I'm looking at the time and I'm like, fuck, this episode's long. All right, next, future of my business. So I went to the DMV again. If you listen to the DMV episode, you know how much I hate it, but I digress. I won't go into it. I was at the DMV and I was going, and I have creative moments when I'm able to just sit down and know that I'm not going to do work. Like I'm not going to answer work emails at the DMV. I can't do it. So I was at the DMV and I was doing some brainstorming for the future and just things that I might want to be changing. So then I went down the rabbit hole, and in the 2 hours that I spent at the DMV, I ended up doing some brainstorming, if you will, for a potential rebrand, if you will, brand refresh that I'm probably going to be doing. So really excited about that. If you listen to my previous episode about my word of the year and the things that I've done, you will know that my word of the year is elevate, and it's business, it's life, it's all the things, and really staying true to that word. And I have some big things in my mind that I have planned, and my Apple Notes are just flowing with ideas because I have that space to be planning things, and I'm super, super excited about it all. I'm not going to talk about it. This is not like a Taylor Swift Easter egg type thing. Just not going to talk about it because I don't want to put a timeline on it. I want to make sure that things happen organically, but I'm so excited. And I had told one of my best friends, I told her one of the plans that I have for the next year or so, and then hopefully by the end of this year, the big project that I'm thinking about and the big project I'm planning will be finished. So we'll see. I don't know. It depends on a lot of different things, but I'm super excited about that. All right. Are you ready for the actual episode stuff? I said the actual episode. Realistically, I started this podcast to talk about life and business and tech. So you're getting all three today, and we just have different, focuses each time. And this focus was definitely life. But we're going to talk, I promise, about the tech side right now. So without further ado, I'm going to take a drink while I pull up my post on Instagram. Okay. So here's the thing. We're going to talk about SEO. Obviously, the waitlist is open for registration. I want to talk about the program, and I want to talk about what SEO is, because people, the landscape, if you will, of the tech industry is not geared toward people. Excuse me. It's not geared toward people who don't necessarily have a background in tech, especially SEO and learning SEO and all the things. I got on a discovery call 2 weeks ago with 2 women, and they basically said that. They were like, we tried to learn SEO from someone, and it was like ridiculous how much we couldn't understand. We didn't understand it. We felt lost. And I was like, I get it. This is why I created my course, because I'm a PT. And I know that if I take off my tech hat, I never would understand any of the shit that people are teaching. So SEO School really does teach it to you as if you are someone who doesn't understand tech stuff and what have you. So I got your back. Like, that's why I created the course. But, you know, on the another side, when this starts becoming the topic of my posts before SEO School the month before, because it always is, I always get the question of how long it takes to see results for SEO. And I did make a post about this, and I'm going to reiterate some of the things that I said in that post. And then I'm going to pick out 3 different people that I talk about in that post and just talk about the stuff that they're doing. And I will focus on the people who are doing their own SEO. So I have clients in the mix there, but I'm going to focus on people who are doing their own SEO as well. And I'm going to mix in one person who had a coaching call with me after SEO School. But either way, I am just going to give some stuff that they're doing and the timelines that it took them, and put some logistics around the stuff that I post, because I like to elaborate more with my voice than what I can do on Instagram. So the biggest thing is, like, I always get people who ask how long it will take for SEO to work. And, you know, just as I used to tell a lot of patients, you know, you don't have a specific timeline. It depends on so many different things. And when I truly believe it is a red flag if someone tells you that there's a specific timeline that you can start to rank in, and that they're going to get you to the first page of Google or the second result on Google in 2 months. Like, I truly believe that is a red flag. If they do it, amazing. But if they don't, like, what? Who can promise that? You can't promise that. You're working with the internet. And unless you're throwing ads to something and paying a lot of money for something, you can't guarantee that you're going to get people in front of new eyes in a specific amount of time and getting them up to a certain result. I truly believe, I will die on that hill, that is a terrible promise to make, and it's a red flag. So for me, I will tell you, as a general idea, a general expectation, you can expect 6 months to 1 year. And success looks different for everyone, but it can sometimes take less time. It sometimes can happen in a much longer period of time. It's very variable. Imagine that. Like, we're working with the internet and we're not throwing a ton of money at it. But the thing is it's like investing. If you don't start today, you're going to wish you started yesterday. Or if you do start today, you're going to wish you started yesterday. Your work, your effort is compounding when it comes to SEO. And that's why I want to make sure that I just say, like, it takes a while, but guess what? It's always going to take a while, and the time is going to pass anyways. So you might as well start now. Now, the big thing that I will tell you up front, in-person businesses have have an easier time ranking than online businesses, because Google puts location it's one of the ranking factors, and it tells if you have a location associated with your business, it's good for Google. So location-based businesses will rank faster than an online business. And that's just literally a forewarning, a blanket statement, a disclaimer. If you're an online business, you're going to have to work hard. Like, it is what it is. You're going to have to work hard. But I will say, you know, I have people in the mix here who are online businesses who have ranked, you know, been ranking, if you will, after 9 months. I have, in only 6 months of dedicated SEO work, I have in-person businesses who have new patients within a week after doing, you know, small things on their website that I teach in SEO School. But at the core of SEO, we have to realize that if we're not creating for our website, if we're not giving Google information, we cannot expect Google to put us in front of people. It's like when you refer someone to a restaurant. Like, I'm not going to refer someone to a restaurant I've never been to. What if it sucks? You know, that's how Google operates. Google says, I trust this person. Other people trust this person. So let's put them in front of someone else when they search for the thing that they talk about on their website, right? You can't expect Google to do a blind referral. It doesn't happen. So we really want to get Google's trust. And that's really like what we're doing with SEO. We are trying to get Google's trust. We're trying to get other people's trust. Show Google that we're an authority in the space. Show other people that we're an authority in the space and they can trust us to provide information to people that they send to our website. So with that being said, I'm going to take a drink and then we're going to talk about a couple specific businesses and things that they've done. Okay, first up is an Instagram. I'm going to just say their Instagram name, Pelvic Pride. I'm just going to back up for a second. The people that I'm talking about, I have asked them if I can talk about their stats and their success and whatnot on my marketing and on my podcast. So let me back up now, just making sure that that is said out loud. But anyway, so Joy from Pelvic Pride, she is in my current cohort of SEO School. She started in November of 2023. The reason I want to talk about her is because she has tripled her traffic from November 2023 to today. And she has not started writing blogs. So she told me that she did the first 3 or 4 lessons of SEO School where we talk about images and titles and tags and keywords and, changing structure on the site. She hasn't done all of the extra creation work that we talk about. And she has tripled her traffic since November. So that's incredible. And she's not throwing ads at it. So that's incredible. Just want to say that, Joy is doing everything. She is the person who, if she comes to the call, asks the question, needs help, she will do whatever she's told in order to start making SEO work for her. And it's totally paid off. She is a prime example of exactly what I teach in SEO School. You got to put the effort in, you'll get the outcome. So that was less than 6 months for her that she started seeing true results for SEO. And she's an in-person pelvic PT practice. Now, the next person I want to talk about, I'm going to actually grab, let's talk about I'm deciding, because like I said, I want to make sure that I give you a couple of different options here. Okay. Let's talk about Janine from TMJ Niagara. So Janine started SEO School at the same time as Joy did. And she DM'd me. And in the beginning of SEO School, she had 5 new patients for her practice that found her on Google after I think she published 2 blogs, because she actually started publishing blogs before SEO School started, because she asked me what she could be doing while she was waiting. And I was like, just write content for your website. So just write about what you like to talk about, write about your practice, what have you. And she got 5 new patients when she first started SEO School. And then she continued and had 9 new patients in January, and 7 of those came from Google. And what she's been doing, from my understanding, is she's implementing all of the back-end stuff just like Joy did. And then Janine is also writing some blogs. So putting the effort in, getting the outcome. And that, once again, that's a very fast turnaround. So it was probably, less than a month knowing the SEO background. And then now it's been about 6 months. So she's seeing a lot of progress with SEO and what she's actually doing. I will talk about a business. I said I wouldn't do this, but I'm going to talk about it. So Sierra from Sozo Equine MO. So Sozo Equine is an education company for horses. And she teaches fascial mobility, taping, tooling, what have you, for practitioners and horse handlers. And she has online courses and in-person courses. We started working together in September or August, and we've done focused SEO work since then. She took SEO School, I believe, 2 cohorts before that. I believe she was in cohort 4 of SEO School, maybe even cohort 3. And she hadn't really done much focused work. She bought SEO School and then realized like, this is a lot of time. It's going to be hard for me. And I think she just kind of let it sit for a little bit. And then when I started my done for you SEO services, she was like, hey, I would love to do this. So we've been working together for about 6 months. So 6 months of focused SEO work. What I've done is I did a lot of restructuring on her website. Because she does have in-person courses, I believe we started off with a little bit of location-based targeting as well, but then we actually pulled back on it because she wanted to make sure that we were talking more about the online courses, and her in-person schedule for the year was not done yet. So we have done, I believe at this point, we published 7 blogs, so still not a ton, 7 or 8 blogs on her site, and then I did all of the back-end work that I teach in SEO School, focusing on specific keywords, specific blog posts, and we were taking content that she has already written and repurposing it for her blog. So we have made a ton of progress by doing that, and her impressions, so her traffic has gone up 25 times, meaning she was at 1,000-ish, 1,100 views a month, impressions a month, and she's now up to 25,000. So she has had a drastic increase in traffic over the last 6 months, which as an online business, primarily online business, right? So I did say that she had a location-based component, but her courses are all online. And that's what we're targeting is her online courses. And so 6 months of progress or 6 months together, and she's had a 25 times increase. That's insane. So yes, I am doing it for her, but everything that I teach in SEO School is what I'm doing. So once again, if you want to, learn the principles, it's all in SEO School. It's not like I keep things secret so people hire me. That's not how this works at all. So she hired me to just do it because she didn't have the time to make it happen, and her traffic increased 25x, which is crazy since this time last year. Lastly, I'm going to talk about someone who has a new website, and I am keeping them anonymous because they have asked me not to say their name. And so I'm going to be respectful of that, obviously. She started a new website in September. I believe it was September. So brand new website. That's huge. She's going to be an online business. She is an online business. She is offering online services. And between now, I'm going to say actually the 3 month change. So let's just go back. She had a previous website on a different platform and then moved to Squarespace with me. So since then, and when she was on the other platform, she didn't have a ton of traffic. So, and another drink, talking a lot. She didn't have a ton of traffic on that website. We moved to Squarespace. She has 3x her traffic in the last 3 months. So when I looked at the comparisons of the past 3 months and then the 3 months prior to that, so the last 6 months total, her traffic went from 4,000, or her impressions went from 4,000 a month to 12.6 thousand. That's huge. For a new website, that's amazing because your domain age plays into this. So how long your domain has been on the internet and how long your domain is associated with a website plays into everything. So this is huge. This is incredible. So she had a 3x in traffic. What she's done, her content on her website is pretty robust. So she has built out pages for her services. She has a lot of website copy. It's not like she has 5 words each page. So she has built out her website copy accordingly and in the best possible way, because we did talk when she first had her website, when we were building her website, I was like, you need to have X, Y, and Z on your site if you want to build it for SEO work in the future. I believe at this point she has published 4 or 5 blogs and her blogs are crushing it. So we figured out what keywords she needed to target, what things people are actually searching about her specific niche. She has wrote blogs on those things and she's absolutely crushing. And any blog that she posts now gets impressions almost right away. It's just so good. And I want to just blanketly say that most of these people are sharing their blogs after they publish them as well, which is huge. They're sharing them on Facebook, their newsletter, what have you. So they are getting views from their current audience, but the views that we're looking at here are organic traffic. It's just so incredible. So she 3x'd her traffic in the last 3 months compared to the 3 months prior. So in total, 6 months, she has just grown massively. And, she's not publishing a blog a week. So to wrap this whole episode up, because I could go through it, there's a post on this, you can see the stats yourself, but to wrap this up and why I want to talk about this, I want you to know that there is hope. Like, it's not like you have to be buried on page 6 of Google for the rest of forever. The other thing is we want to just say that, when you put the effort in, you get it out, of course. If you have the time to devote to it, you get that out. You just have to have patience. You have to have patience and understand it's going to be a ride and it's going to take some time, and just enjoy the ride. So learning how to actually love the process instead of, waiting for that outcome to happen. And I'm going to talk more about like monetary stuff, but just measuring your ROI in different ways than just getting money and being paid for things. So we'll talk more about that in a different episode of this series, but just embracing the ride and really loving the ride, and loving when, you get 1,000 more views a month. That's huge. That's huge. Every single new view or new impression is huge. So, celebrating the small things, and I say small when it's really big, and understanding that the work that you do pays off. And lastly, you don't need to write 6 blogs a week in order to rank. And nobody that I talked about here is blogging more than once a month. Or maybe twice a month. Nobody here is blogging more than twice a month. Joy may be blogging 3 times a month, but she said that she has not been adding content like that. So I'm going to go with what she said. So nobody's doing that. I'm not asking you to blog 6 times a week. It's not part of the program. So just understanding what you can do on the structure of your site and picking the right keywords, and choosing the blog topics that people are actually Googling and there's a high demand for it with no answers. That's where we're going to start, and that's where you start in SEO school in order to start ranking. So that's really all I got for you. I know that it's a lot, and this was a long ass episode. I'm looking at the clock. It's 46 minutes. If you listen to this entire episode, I truly appreciate you. Let me know what you thought of it, because like I said, I don't mean to record these to be so dang long, but sometimes it just happens. And I also don't want to nix the personal brand side of this. It's not just about SEO. It's not just about SEO school, and it's not just about, tech. It's also about knowing who I am as a person and, stuff that's going on in my life. And I love sharing that. And I love that there are people who DM me and they're like, I love that I get to catch up with you and your podcast every week. So I don't want to ever skip that. So yeah, like I said, the explanation that you probably didn't ask for, having a conversation with myself over here. But anyway, please let me know if you have questions about SEO, because I want to tailor my content to what you have questions on. It just makes the most sense. So let me know if you have questions. If you are looking for the waitlist for SEO school, it will be in my show notes. If you're looking for my waitlist for done for you SEO services, I do have a waitlist right now. I believe the waitlist is at 3 people. So if you are looking for a way to join my waitlist, I will also put that as a form in my show notes. And other than that, you can DM me with questions. You can send me an email, info@lexlancaster.com, my Instagram @lexlancaster_. You can feel free to send me a DM, but that's all I've got for you today. I am going to head downstairs, finish some laundry, probably take Moose on a walk, do some more work, answer some emails, and then I will be picking up Shanté at the airport later tonight. So I hope you have a great Monday, or whatever day of the week it is that you choose to listen to this episode. And I look forward to hearing your questions if you have them. Thank you so much. I will catch you next time.